They say every neighborhood's got its secrets, but let me tell you, there's nothing quite like waking up one morning and realizing you're the next chapter in a war you never asked for, just because you built your garage too close to somebody else's idea of perfection. You ever get that kind of letter that makes your coffee taste like burnt pennies? Yeah, that happened. One thick envelope, Willow Bluff Community Association return address, looking official enough to make you worry if you're being sued or audited or maybe both. Except I'd never signed up for any association, never attended a picnic, never once let them rope me into a committee. But this letter wasn't about invitations or block parties. It was a shot across the bow, and I was the target. So I rip it open, curiosity winning out, and sure enough, it's not just my name staring back, but that passive-aggressive legalese that only HOA board members and IRS agents seem to master. Dear Jared Miller, it read, the board requests temporary use of your garage for community storage and seasonal equipment. Temporary, like my life's a timeshare. They said I wasn't using it enough, and I should consider the broader benefit to the neighborhood. You know what I mean? As if a man who spent his whole career fixing engines and building with his own hands suddenly owed some kind of penance to the folks who'd spent 5 years pretending I was just the stubborn old guy on the wrong side of their utopia. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was classic Karen Bradshaw, HOA president, queen of manicured lawns and weaponized newsletters. I sent a response. Nothing fancy, just a copy of my deed, a map from the county GIS, a notarized letter from the land office, and a sticky note that said, respectfully declined. Not your community. Not interested. Thought that'd be the end of it. But you already know, these stories never end that easy. Next week, here comes another letter, this time with 7 board signatures, more consensus, more teeth. It is inappropriate for such a large structure to go unused, they wrote. Fair and reasonable to consider your neighbor's needs. Yeah, fair and reasonable. That's when I realized it wasn't about my garage at all. It was about control. I call Karen, just to be direct, thinking maybe a little straight talk would end this. She keeps her voice calm, fake friendly, like she's narrating a commercial for cruise insurance. Says it's not personal, just board business, something for the greater good. I hang up before my blood pressure spikes enough to say something I'd regret. But after that, things just started getting weird. Neighbors I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly got real friendly, asking what I was going to do with my garage, hinting it was such a waste. I could smell the pressure campaign before it even started. If you've lived in a small town, you know, the real battles are always silent, fought with gossip and glances. Then, early Monday morning, 3 strangers in neon vests and clipboards show up outside my fence, acting like building inspectors, pointing at my garage and scribbling notes. We're from the Community Oversight Committee, the tall one says, except there's no such thing, not in any bylaw, not anywhere but their imagination. Visual inspection for structural compliance, he explains, all serious. I hand him my deed, tell him to take it to Karen, and hope she uses it to wallpaper her den. But by lunch, there's a new glossy flyer in every mailbox. Is Jared Miller's land part of the community? It reads, like a campaign ad, whipping up doubt and drama. I throw mine in the fire pit, but I know the game's just heating up. After that, the parade of phone-carrying walkers starts, groups and couples, some with phones out, snapping pics of my garage like it's a crime scene. One woman, head-to-toe Lululemon, strolls right up and starts taking photos. You lost or just casing the place? I ask. She bolts. I order new locks, beef up my cameras, and start a folder labeled HOA harassment. Then, that night, I get a call from a blocked number. Robotic voice tells me I should consider cooperation. I crack a joke about Karen moonlighting as a Batman villain, but I file a police report anyway. Cop says there's nothing he can do unless they cross the property line. So I double down, photograph every inspector, log every flyer, back up every camera feed. I wasn't just being cautious. I was gearing up. And just when you think the universe might give you a breather, that's when the real twist drops. Motion sensor goes off at 1 a.m., camera feed glitches. Somebody's moving around my garage, but when I check outside, everything looks normal, except for some fresh tire tracks and a folding chair in the back that wasn't there yesterday. It's not vandalism. It's surveillance. Somebody's been inside, quietly. They didn't take anything. They were just letting me know they could. So I go full prepper, hardwire the cameras, add hidden mics, move all the valuables behind a steel cage. Then I staged the front half of the garage to look like I might finally be collaborating. Empty bins, open space, unlocked padlock, just to see if they take the bait. Finally, I fake leaving town, drive my truck out, loop back, park up on the ridge with a drone covering my land, and every camera feed on my phone. And what do you know, at 3:16 a.m., two figures stroll right in, one guy in a Willow Bluff polo, the other with arms folded, head high. It's Karen, clipboard and tape measure in hand, planning where to put their community storage. They talk about delivery schedules, rules, even joke about locking me out. I catch every word, every angle, on camera. Next morning, I hand the footage straight to the sheriff, video, audio, printouts, the works. Deputy Colton, good guy, ex-military, comes out, surveys the scene, asks if I want to press charges. Absolutely. By sunset, the whole thing's official. Karen and her vice president are named in the report, and when Karen rolls up all charm and fake concern, I lay it out for her. Every shred of evidence, every legal term. She tries to talk circles, but the sheriff's got her folder, her voice on tape, and her plans for cooperation. There's no talking out of this one. But just when you think it's over, here comes another twist. The county clerk calls. Turns out, weeks earlier, Willow Bluff had submitted a forged plat map, trying to redraw the boundary lines so my garage technically fell inside the HOA. Sloppy blue ink, fake surveyor notes, illegal as hell. I take the map straight to the district attorney's office, and they see what I see. Forgery, attempted appropriation, a quiet coup in legalese. My lawyer, Michelle, gets involved, files suit for trespass, defamation, fraud, and now, criminal misrepresentation. Storm breaks fast after that. Lawsuit goes public. DA opens a criminal inquiry. County starts auditing every Willow Bluff record. Turns out Karen's been playing this game for years, hoarding HOA funds in a storage unit rented under her own name, saving up for a new storage location. Hint, my garage. When the dust settles, the board collapses. Half resign, Greg disappears. Karen's left to face the music solo. Even then, they send a last wave. HOA volunteers at my driveway. All smiles, talking amicable resolution. I tell them there's a legal order, and unless they want to explain their involvement to a judge, they'd best leave. That night, walking through my garage, I feel something shift, not just relief, but a sense of justice, the kind that builds slowly over years of being underestimated. The hearing's a circus, press, neighbors, even a few old rivals in the back row, watching like it's a soap opera. My lawyer lays out everything: maps, emails, audio, video. Karen's defense crumbles. The judge calls out the forgery, the trespass, the misappropriation. Criminal charges drop: falsification, unlawful seizure, abuse of authority. They're taken out the side door, not the front, and I'm awarded damages, an injunction, and the permanent revocation of Willow Bluff's HOA status. Their little empire, gone overnight. So now, a metal sign sits on their old community board: Willow Bluff HOA, status revoked. I put up a new sign of my own. Private property. No trespassing. We don't call the HOA, we call the law. People laugh, but nobody argues. Months later, a state senator invites me to speak about HOA reform, and I haven't decided if I'll go. Maybe, maybe not. What matters is I got my garage, my land, and a story nobody else can steal. And if you're listening, maybe ask yourself, who really owns your piece? Is it the rules in someone else's folder, or the boundaries you defend, even if it means standing alone? Because I promise, it's not the size of your garage that makes you a target, it's how stubbornly you guard the door. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever faced a battle for what's yours, or watched a community go too far in the name of the greater good? I want to hear where you stand, because in the end, justice is never just a line on a map.